Hi, Brandon. How are you?
Hey, doing great. How about yourself?
I am doing well. Thank you for hopping on this. I know that you're out on the road right now, yeah?
Yeah.
So are
Yeah,
you
no worries. We were actually just making a stop, so it worked out perfectly.
oh, okay, so you're not like on the bus or in the van right now.
Oh, I'm in the van. Yeah, I'm in the van. But we are stationary at the moment. We just parked at a Planet Fitness. We're gonna get a workout in. Everybody's gonna shower, so it was a good happy stop.
Awesome. Well, we're talking to Brandon of Crobot on tour with Steel Panther. So is that kind of like the thing when you guys are out on the road? Like you all have just like a Planet Fitness membership, and then that way you can hit their gym and their showers?
That's it. That's how we're able to do this. Otherwise, it'd be it'd put us in the gutters. So, yeah, we live like somewhere between a hobo and a truck driver. I think we're like modern day pirates.
I was gonna say that's actually like super clever, and I don't know that you would necessarily be able to do that like back like 20 years ago on tour. Like you can't just like hit a gym. Like you got to get that membership that spans the whole country.
That's right. And you can't do it all over the world either, we've learned. We're
Yeah.
spoiled here in the States.
How does the shower situation work when you're over in Europe?
It's mostly hostels, and we take them all together.
Oh boy. Okay, well that's like that feels like a very that's very Steel Panthery. I feel like, and you guys are on tour with them, so let's start with that. How is it being out on tour with those guys?
Oh, it's awesome. It's a great time every night. We're excited about every stop on the tour. Certainly excited about passing through Detroit. So we can't wait to get there. But it's been such a great ride thus far. This is our second tour with these guys, and the first tour was the most fun I've ever had in the 10 years of touring that we've done with Crobot. And this tour is it's neck and neck now. So we can't wait to bring it to Detroit. It's a lot of fun.
I'm super excited. I've never seen you guys live, despite like just all of the festivals that we do in rock and roll and all the tours and everything. So I'm pretty pumped to see you guys. I haven't seen Steel Panther either, but I'm more excited for you guys. You guys have your new album, Feel This. It's coming out June 3rd, and which is really exciting. I know it's your fifth album, and in the press release I read, this is the record that you guys have wanted to do since the start of the band. So why is this one different than what you've done with your other albums?
Well, the process of making a record, in a nutshell, is usually, every band member does everything on their own in separate, separate time periods. So you'll do like a month of drums first, then you'll do, or sorry, a week of drums and then a week of bass, or however many days it takes. But for this record, and this is how we always wanted to do it. Jay Rustin's approach to recording is let's just do one song at a time. Everybody in the room, let's jam it out how they used to do it on tape. I think once we reached the digital era, for some reason, it just got more efficient to do it the other way. You have everything set up, so you want to, get the right sounds before you tear everything down, and sometimes it's not always, in the budget to leave things set up. So we just were able to work very efficiently and hammer the songs out in the room. So that's how we wanted to do it. The process that we've wanted to make the record, make a record since the inception of the band. So we were super happy that that's how we made Feel This.
Do you feel like now that you have done other records differently, like you said, a week of drums, a week of guitar, do you feel like doing it this way, there's like a different connectivity between all of the band and the songs, and then going out and performing them live? Because I feel like recording it all together in my head, it just that's how it's always been, right? I've never recorded an album. So I guess I never thought about the process of doing all the drum tracks at once, all the guitar tracks at once, and to me, it just makes more sense to have everybody in there because now you guys are almost rehearsing to play them live, you know?
Yeah, and that's always the ultimate test at the end of the day too, is does it work in a live setting? We're a live band. We feel that's our bread and butter. That's what is our staple. And if the song doesn't sound good in the room, then we usually toss it to the side. So it's the ultimate test anyway. So it just always made sense for us as a live band to record that way, and it's just never how things have been done. It's just not how people usually do things. And that's Jay's approach. So it definitely led us to being more connected to the songs. And certainly me, being the vocalist too, I usually, I'm the last to go. So, I sit around a lot and I just figure I twiddle my thumbs, but this kept me involved the entire time. And I loved that about that record and the process of it because I think the lyrics actually were easier and better, and I felt more closure with everything, because you're always thinking inside your head that nothing's ever done, and good thing there's a release date because we just keep working on these songs if we had the option to do so. Uh, so to be able to just cut it off at a period of time and have it said done, like this song is done now, was really
Right.
cool, and it led us to be more creative in the room too.
Well, yeah, and that's kind of a question I ask a lot of artists when I interview them is, how do you decide like it's done, we're done? And obviously, if there's a time restraint, that definitely can kind of light a fire under your ass, if you will. Um,
Mhm.
but a lot of times it's like the process of deciding between we've got it's not just one person writing the song, right? It's not one person performing the song. So if you're like, all right guys, this is good, and then your drummer or your guitarist like, hey, you know what, it's not done. Is there like a collective idea of like, okay, no, this is done, it's set, it's on the record?
Yeah, I think we just run the gauntlet on it between us. We all really respect each other's opinions, and we know we come from different backgrounds and the same background in the same breath. So, all of our opinions matter in the room, and we just kind of go down the line of like, hey, what do you think? What do you think? What do you think? Is this done? All right, it's done. It gets the stamp of approval from everyone. So, it's just a moment of time, though. Like I said, you listen back, and after the record's already out, you're like, maybe I would have did something a little differently there." But it's always everything's always evolving, and just because of the studio version doesn't mean we don't play it differently live too. So that's always something we like to bring to the table as well.
And I know you guys did 16 songs in 21 days. So obviously you had a time frame that it needed to be done. Do you feel like that added pressure of, we're all doing this together and we've got this amount of time? I mean, 3 weeks is, I feel like just a short, like I said, I've never, personally, haven't recorded my debut album yet, but I feel like that's like a really quick, like that's a lot of music in a short period of time.
Yeah, it really is, and, we would take 6 weeks on the other records just to give you, like, a span of time. So we would take twice the amount of time on other records, and, we've always felt that, at the end of those 6 weeks, it's just like, you just kinda finding things to do, and because we had that, "Okay, we have this many days to get this done," we really did work it out, and you know, we were under the gun, so it helped us work more efficiently. But I don't think the song suffered because at the end of it, we worked so efficiently that we had like 2 days that we did nothing. So
Yeah.
we were still trying to find things to do. So I think we just worked really efficiently once we get in the studio, and Jay was just the perfect companion for us in there.
Well, and this isn't a debut album, right? This is your fifth record. So you guys are seasoned vets at this point when it comes to putting everything together. I do have a question about like the imagery of the album, right? Which I think is super cool, right? So it's the ice cream cone with what looks like brass knuckles. So how much involvement do you guys have creatively when coming up with that style? Because then the other photo of the whole band is everyone eating ice cream, kind of looking like you're just having like the time of your lives, just all together, which I think is really cool.
Yeah, I mean, everything mostly is in-house with us. Bishop, our guitar player, does all the artwork,
Oh, cool.
usually. Yeah, so all the t-shirts you see at our shows, the past artwork has all been him. This time around, we wanted to do something a little different, so we did an actual photo as opposed to artwork per se. But it was all under the direction of us and Bishop's artful eye. So that's all mostly in-house, but our great friend, Stacia Hand, she was the photographer who did the actual hand, and we came up with the concept, and wouldn't you know, they don't actually make brass knuckles for children, so she
Turns
had to
out.
3D print. Yeah, it turns
Okay.
out she had to 3D print brass knuckles for the child that she had posing for the picture. So we thought that was pretty funny. But there's a lot of little Easter eggs in with the album as well too. So it's all under the Crobot eye, and we have a hand in everything. That's what we like to do. We just like to we like to keep everything in house.
Yeah, well, and I know that the quote I read was that you want to be taken seriously, but not too seriously. And I feel like just talking to you, like that's to me, that's like the fun of rock and roll, right? Because sometimes you see some of these bands, and I understand, like, this is your art, this is your craft. Of course, you take it seriously, but I feel like sometimes with some bands, like it translates like too much to their fans, and then their fans almost take it too seriously. And I don't know. To me, rock and roll is supposed to be fun. Like it's supposed to be. You guys are supposed to have fun, we're supposed to have fun when we listen to it. So I think that that's a really cool mantra to kind of have.
Yeah, I mean that's goal number one out here is to have fun because what's it all worth if not? And it's like you said, rock and roll, music in general, we're fans at the end of the day too. So it's just as much of a release to us to perform than it is for people to listen to music, and it's part of our being. So anything that's involving music is always going to be fun to us, but absolutely positively, we like to have fun.
Good. I know that this album was uh, really predominantly written during the pandemic, which I know at this point, we're 3 years removed. This is actually like the week that the world kind of shut down 3 years ago. And how did that play a factor in the songs that you wrote? And was that on your mind? I know a lot of albums that are coming out around this time or within the last year, there's a lot of undertones of what everyone was going through. And it's weird because the entire world was going through that all at once. So whether you were a superstar, you're an A-list celebrity, or you're just a radio jock hanging out, the only person in the radio station, everyone kind of was in that together. So how did that affect, obviously you weren't necessarily together writing the album, you got to record it together, but are there undertones of that in some of the songs?
Absolutely. And just kind of to segue, we really just thought, hey, there's going to be a lot of records that are going to be, very dismal or maybe, downtrodden or a lot of vaccination references and stuff like that. And we just didn't want to do that. We wanted to keep things more of an upbeat tone, and we really wanted to approach this record, especially since Mother Brain was a darker record for us, and it had a lot of of the human elements involved. More in the human pursuit and struggle. And I think this record was more of like, hey, let's just put everything behind us and just look forward to having a good time and getting back to, rock and roll and go to see shows. And, songs like Better Times, that's exactly what that song is about. It's about, going to see shows again and having the time of your life out there. So that's what we're all about, and we really wanted to make an upbeat, more of um, a happier record, if you will. Songs like "Dance with the Dead." We've really never written a song like that as well. So we tried a few different things on this record, and we wanted to be a little more upbeat because we thought there would be a very oversaturated, CD release
For sure.
schedule with a lot of COVID references. So we wanted to more take the fun filled side
Yeah,
of
well, and
things.
I think that, and just listening to the song "Golden," which I just listened to before we got on this call, I think that you can hear that, and I love hearing that that was like the approach because, like I said, we've talked to a lot of artists over the last couple of years, and we know that the pandemic really played a factor in everyone's lives, but there's a point where you got to say like enough is enough. Like we got to go back to having fun, and I don't necessarily want to listen to music that's all that dreary and all of this. Like let's put it behind us. So. I think that that's a really cool approach. I think you guys are going to see a solid turnout for people who are excited to listen to music like that.
Yeah, and that like I said, like we're music fans at the end of the day, and I want it to be a release to listen to music. I don't want it to put me back in that same old dismal thought process. So, we take that approach too when we write.
So the band calls Pottsville, Pennsylvania home. And Pennsylvania has a special place in my heart. My dad grew up in Philly, which I know you guys are north of there. But I gotta ask because when I looked it up on the map, That is where the Yeagley brewery is.
That's
We don't
right.
have Yeagley here in Michigan. We're in Detroit, Michigan, and we don't have Yeagley. They don't distribute it up here. And that is like every time we go to Pennsylvania. So did you guys grow up like picking back a few of the Yeagley pops? Is that like you guys bring that on the road with you? I got you. I would assume you have to. What a great beer.
Oh, yeah, I say it all the time. I was raised on lager, and you can say lager and everybody knows what you mean, right? So,
Oh,
uh,
absolutely.
yeah, that's Pottsville's claim to fame, and we carry that flag proudly. So, it is a great beer, and I'm really surprised that it hasn't made it as west as Michigan. I mean, Michigan, in our consideration, is the beer capital of the U.S. So,
Well, thank
uh, you know, yeah, and it just makes sense that Yingling should be in Michigan. So, if we have to steal a few cases and smuggle it into Michigan, we will.
Well, thank you. Yeah, we I know there's like a handful of places that will get it, but it doesn't distribute like as big as some of the other ones. So like anytime you go like south, I think Ohio carries it. So we're like, oh, we gotta bring cases back of Yingling. And there's other people who are like, what is the big deal? And it's like if you know, you know. It's the
Yeah,
beer.
that's right. That's
That's
right.
awesome. Well, we are definitely pumped to have you guys in town tomorrow night again, opening up for Steel Panther, and tickets for the show are still available. So we're gonna make sure to push that out. And what can we expect to see tomorrow with you guys? Just a fun, rocking, good time.
There's a lot of shiny stuff, a lot of sweaty stuff, and a lot of spandex. So
Oh,
I'll let you gather your own image now until you get there because it really can't be explained.
yeah, I'm picturing the shiny and the spandex with you guys heading into the gym here in a moment.
That's right.
Well, Brandon, thank you so much for taking the time while you guys are on the road. Like I said, we are super pumped to have you in Detroit tomorrow, and safe travels, and we'll see you soon.
Absolutely. Can't wait to see you at the Fillmore.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yep. Take care.